Welcome back, Lovestylers. I'm Misty, and today we're going to be talking about 5 keto carnivore stalls. Yes, I said stalls. These are some things that while on my diet journey in the last 3 years, where I lost 55 pounds and 8 sizes, these are some things that stalled me and continue to stall me when I fall off track, which is very often. One thing about the keto or carnivore diet, it's designed for flawed individuals like ourselves. So is about any diet. So don't beat yourself up. My first stall while on keto carnivore is sweeteners. You hear a lot about sweeteners. Some people like a little stevia in their drink during the day. This is something that, in my experience, I have found along my journey, this has definitely impacted my weight loss. Impacted, I mean slowed me down. You don't want a little bit of sweetener in your drink to stall your weight loss when you've been doing so well, working so diligently, eating all the right foods for your body, for your diet that you may be on. This is something I have found, trying to speak from the heart here. We're all about the heart here at Lovestyle, of course. So, sweeteners in your drink. Let's try to take a break from some of that. You get used to the sweet taste. You want it there all the time. It may even replace food for some people or make them feel like they're having some kind of treat. I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. It did not work for me. I want you to consider giving up some sweetener, 1 drink at a time. If you drink it during the day, replace 1 with a water. Even Tic Tacs. I was eating Tic Tacs because it has, less than 1 gram of sweetener per 3 Tic Tacs or whatever it is. And that stalled me that little bit, because I would want a little bit of taste in my mouth because I would be hungry for something, waiting till my next meal. And I felt like this could hold me over. A couple of Tic Tacs won't hurt. This stalled me. I want you to pay attention to these little things. It is very possible that this may be hindering your weight or fat loss progress. Side note, along with the sweetener in your drink, your Tic Tacs, your piece of gum here and there, you may indulge in to get you to the next meal. Keto desserts falls under the category of sweeteners. We put the stevia in the desserts. The other stuff is low carb, so we feel like it's kind of okay. And it's nice to have a treat once in a while. You don't want to completely restrict yourself all the time and hate your life. This was something I did for a while. I wasn't as happy if I didn't allow something now and then. So I did indulge in the keto desserts with the sweetener in there, but you don't want to make it like an everyday habit, something you have every night after your meal. You want to maybe switch to the weekends, have a dessert on the weekends. Watch the sweeteners. Number 2 of one of the stalls during my fat loss journey, one of my big stalls, was having a cheat meal. Now, some people have cheat days. I am not of that mindset. I think a cheat meal makes a lot more sense, so you don't get in the habit of going off of your diet, but you have a cheat meal. You may be out with friends. You have your pizza night. Every once in a while, like I like to do about every 3 months, allow some real pizza with good ingredients. But when you have a cheat meal, just realize this will keep your weight up on the scale. If you use a scale, your weight's going to be up for a couple of days. Some people, even a week. Some people, even longer. This is okay. You're going to have to know this going in. If you plan to have a cheat meal, I say plan it, allow it, accept it. Remember, we're flawed. And we're also human beings, and we're also here to enjoy. So a cheat meal is inevitable. I haven't met anybody yet who has not had a cheat meal along their diet journey. They still look great. They're still exercising. They're still watching what they eat all of the time. To give yourself a break at a birthday party, at a regular party. Some people like to indulge in a drink. This falls under the cheat meal. Consider that drink an entire cheat meal. If you have an alcoholic drink, this is your cheat meal. I want you to consider it an entire meal. You will retain water. You will get knocked out of ketosis. If you know this going in, you accept it. Don't weigh yourself for a couple of days. If you're anything like me, I have found I get upset with myself. Oh, I shouldn't have had those pancakes. The other week we went camping. I had pancakes. They were delicious. I had some s'mores, which are very hard to resist. And I had a milkshake. Now I knew not to step on the scale for about a week. If you want to avoid the scale, if you know you're going to have a cheat meal or day, whichever you prefer, just know you're going to retain water for a couple days, maybe a week, maybe longer, and don't beat yourself up. If you hear my kitty in the background, that's the great Starina, who's made a few appearances. She just wants to be part of the show. Diet stall number 3 is chemicals. Who wants chemicals in their body? Nobody. Well, like Misty, sometimes I want something from a package. That's okay. Read the label. There's a lot of ingredients they put in things that are meant to be on the shelf for a long time, things in the middle aisles at the grocery store. You gotta read your ingredients. Chances are there might be something in there that could stall you, kick you out of ketosis after all your hard work. You know, maltodextrin is very bad for you. Natural flavors, I just found out, is code for bad stuff. Stuff that's not good for you. There's a little bit of sugar in things that don't even taste sweet. MSG is a killer of diets and health. These are the things we have to look out for. These are things that stalled me on my journey. See, Starina agrees. My kitty, I want you to pay attention to these things. You may not have ever read labels. Start reading some labels. You'll be surprised. You might even be shocked at some of the things they put in supposedly healthy foods. Start reading your labels. Stay away from the chemicals. You don't want to get kicked out of ketosis. Number 4, stall while you're trying to lose weight. Stress. Being stressed out about what's going on in the world. You know, we all have a little bit of that right now, I believe. It's hard not to think about it. We just want to love each other here. And sometimes it seems harder than other times. Sickness. You know, you're worried about getting sick, these kind of things. It's hard to put it aside. We're emotional beings. We're human beings. Stress is inevitable, but how much time do you want to spend on that? Thinking about what if? That's not going to change anything. If you worry about it now, but it will change your body composition if you continue to stay stressed. You will be kicked out of ketosis, your cortisol will go up, and you'll retain water. You may even eat some snacks that you normally don't eat. Let's try to keep the stress out of our lives, stay off the news, maybe even give social media a break, because that's starting to get political now. I have to put that down sometimes. Check me out on Instagram, though. I will not be political with you. Stress. Let's get rid of the stress in our lives. Let the work troubles go. Start meditating if that helps you. Listen to music, paint, play some music, turn it into art, write a book, write a song. This is how I deal with stress. I'm not an expert. by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm working on it, and it will help my progress. Let's step out of fight and flight mode and get into personal growth here. And my fifth stall while on my diet journey, keto carnivore, has been electrolyte imbalance. Misty, what's electrolytes? Salt, magnesium, potassium, calcium. Some people take a supplement for this. I myself have found I need a little bit of potassium while on carnivore. Sometimes I don't eat quite enough liver, quite enough beef. Greens contain potassium. A lot of vegetables contain potassium. A lot of us are walking around with an electrolyte imbalance. Start with some pink salt. It's hard to get your electrolytes in perfect balance, I'll be honest. Still working on it. I've gotten a lot better. Some things that I have done along the way. Pink salt, I have to have my pink salt every day. It contains most of the electrolytes that you need. Start there. If you feel dizzy, if your joints hurt, if you get headaches, you want to pay attention to electrolytes. Look into this. It's kind of specific. I can't give you exact measurements. Everybody's different. But start with the pink salt. I take a potassium supplement every day to make sure I have my potassium levels closer to where they need to be. I don't know if I have it perfectly dialed in yet. And I also do, and this is a great tip right here, I take baths with Epsom salt, which is magnesium, and I do take a little magnesium supplement at night. It will help you sleep. Look into magnesium, potassium, and pink salt. Those are the three main ones that we have control over while on our diet. And this has been very, very helpful to me and Andrew along our journey. Side note for a minute about iodized salt. Now, sometimes you don't have your pink salt with you. This happened to me at work. I forgot to bring some in. And I want to just make a point here, something that surprised me. The little packets of salt that you get at restaurants, like usually fast food restaurants, is called iodized salt. I actually turned it over and looked at the ingredients for the iodized salt and found there is dextrose, which is another word for sugar, in salt. In iodized salt, there may be dextrose. I say stick to the pink salt. Some people like sea salt. These are better. Don't eat your iodized salt if there is sugar in it. This was weird. I had to mention it. I think it's really strange, and I've never heard anyone talk about it. Keep the sugar out of your salt. So thank you for tuning into Lovestyle and hearing me out about my 5 keto carnivore stalls that have kicked me out of ketosis. I don't want that to happen to you. Ketosis is not linear. It ebbs and flows, just like life. But let's try to stay in ketosis as much as we can so we can lose that fat. So remember the 5 stalls. It will help you on your journey, as it did for Andrew and myself. We want to stay in ketosis. This will help you so much. We appreciate... Starina agrees. I know, ketosis is important. Let's stay in ketosis. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Hit me up. Ask me a question. I really want to interact with you. Maybe we'll do a video on it if it's a good enough question. We appreciate you listening to our music. That's Black Eyed Soul, available everywhere. Stay in ketosis. Use these 5 tips. We'll see you next time on Lovestyle. Subscribe. Peace and out.